So who is Lanz going to be? Well, this is what we know so far. Lanz is an 18-year-old soldier from the Kivas nation who makes use of his large body by happily wielding that giant sword that can also be used as a shield. He is a reliable fella who fights to protect his friends and his companions. He wishes to protect his friends from certain events that seem to have happened in the past, even if it costs him his life, which is why to many others his actions may seem reckless. Now, I'm sure that many of you are expecting me to compare Lanz to this guy in terms of his personality. I'm not going to do that, as I don't think Lanz is going to be anything like Ryan. And why is that, you might ask? Well, because I think Lanz is actually going to have his head screwed on, unlike a certain someone that just presses buttons for the fun of it. He's also probably going to be a super caring character, more focused on the needs of everybody else in the party and making sure that their strength within their hearts and their bodies is topped up before even focusing on his own injuries or issues. And he'll also likely be a very brave person, putting his life on the line for others and focusing on keeping them safe, no matter the cost. So what impact will he have on the story? Well, going back to that tweet from the Xenoblade JP Twitter page, it specifically mentions protecting friends from certain events that occurred in the past, and I think this will be one of the key plot points for a certain section of the game. We of course can't know for certain what exactly happened, but chances are that it involved both Noah and Uni, as after all, these three were all childhood friends together. It could be something as simple as, say, the group walking into a group of monsters and Lanz fighting his way out of it for the other two, or perhaps they stumbled across one of the Agnes Nation's mechs, which seemed to be inactive but wasn't, and was accidentally reactivated. Or perhaps the group have met Mio and potentially some of the other party members from the Agnes Nation before, when they were kids, and maybe they don't remember them anymore. Lanz perhaps does, however, and he could be keeping it a secret from the other two to keep them safe or protect them from whatever happened all that time ago. And this really has interesting implications when you consider his only voice line from the trailer being "I refuse to believe you're him," which perhaps could be alluding to someone that they met all that time ago. However, admittedly, this is the only real true plot point that I could come up with the limited information that we have on Lanz. So we'll move on and discuss his relationships with the other party members. I think him and Mio will have a really cool relationship, and he'll probably come to really quickly accept her and respect her within this game. Lanz is always trying to look out for Noah, and especially when he starts to get closer to Mio, I think he'll brute his way in and properly test her. And when he sees that she is worth all that she is, then the two of them will get on swimmingly and respect each other like comrades. I also think him and Uni are going to have a pretty funny relationship, as he'll likely always be ready to knock her down a peg whenever she's about to go too far and say something that she can't take back. And in many other ways, I think he'll also respect her as well, being able to speak her mind freely and not worrying about the consequences and what others think. And finally, I think him and Senna will have a little bit of a cute relationship, and especially by the end of the game, I think this little girl might start to make him blush a little bit. Now, I don't think the two of them are actually going to become a thing or anything, but I definitely think that the two of them are going to tease each other, and by the end of the game, many of us may be shipping those two together as well. And what about any connections to older characters? Well, it's been speculated for a while now that Lanz is of the Machina race, due to the fact that he seems to have these little shards of metal on his body, and he even seems to replicate the same lines, which we can see on Egil and other Machina's faces. And thus, if this hypothesis is correct, I hope that Vernea is his mother, which would make sense as those lines do look a lot like Egil's, and of course that's her brother. As for the father though, I have literally no idea. So let's just say his father is a nop-on. In conclusion, Lanz is going to be the hero who prioritizes his friends and allies' health over his own, and works to keep everybody safe and make sure that everybody gets home, even if that means that he can't. And I think he will continuously risk his life throughout this game for each and every one of the party members, until at one point he cuts it too fine and he starts to learn from what he's been doing, especially after he sees how scared he makes the other party members. And hopefully then then he'll start treating his own life with as much respect as he treats everyone else's. And that's who I think Lanz is going to be in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. If you want to know who I think Senna's going to be though, then click on this video right here. But otherwise, I appreciate you all for watching and hope you've all enjoyed. And I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Peace.